Hello, hello. Hi, my name is Kirtideva Peruman, and I'm a holistic life coach. I have the honor today to be part of a co-author, to invite my co-author, Angelique Pellegrino, who is an angelic transformer, on this fireside chat. So we'll just have a quick conversation about our chapter, and she will tell you more what she does in her life. So, to start with, I will leave the floor for Angelique to present herself and tell us a bit more what she does in her life.
Mhm. Well, hello everyone. They call me the angelic transformer because I usually seriously transform people after simply one session with me. Because I use several modalities, including hypnosis, which is a very, very good tool to get to the root cause of a problem. Then I become a dentist and extract it from the person's psyche, aura, vibrations. And um, yeah, they also receive a recording that is going to be tailored to what they tell me they want at the beginning of the session. And they're going to listen to this for at least 21 days. And their transformation is amazing. So it works. So the only thing is that I have to explain you can't really come with a shopping list. You know, a lot of people do. When they fill in the intake form, they tick lots and lots of boxes.
Yeah,
So the beginning, we kind of focus on one thing
yeah,
because the mind can only live with one change at a time. Plus, the mind doesn't really like change anyway. So we have to
yeah,
trick the mind to do that. But
yeah.
I'm very passionate about this, and it's been a long journey. My whole life got me to where I'm at today. And I found a lot of healing modalities out there very, very slow. Like, with all due respect, they all have a place, and even though all roads lead to Rome, there's lots of different roads. And some people
Yeah.
might prefer use something like Reiki, but which is energy healing, which is very powerful. But I just found it a
Mhm.
bit slow, where what I do is a lot more effective and
Yeah.
fast. In today's time, when people are very time poor, this is really, really good.
S-
Is it? Yeah.
yeah. So my question, I feel it will open a can of worms, maybe, or maybe beautiful things will come out. But what brought you on this journey? Like, what brought you to become an angelic transformer? I love that word, by the way.
Yeah, yes, my coach decided that's definitely my title, and it works with my name. So, I was born and raised in Switzerland, and when I grew up, I was
Mm,
just watching all the customers that were coming to my parents' restaurant, coming for a drink after work,
yeah.
and I just they never went home until closing time, and they were always complaining and whinging and gossiping and everything. And I'm just kept thinking, there's got to be more to life. I don't want this. And that's when I left Switzerland, traveled around the world for 3 years, and I realized, oh my God, it's not everything is not just black and white. There's lots of shades of grays. Ooh, ooh. And so then I settled in Australia. And when actually went out with a so-called socialite for 5 years who was really just using me, let's put it that way. And
Right.
when we broke up, I was just about to go back to Switzerland when I met my late husband, who was born 3 hours away from me. And honestly, that was really what he brought to my life that made me determined, because I just thought that he always had bad luck. I
Mm,
just kept thinking, what is wrong with this man? He tries so hard. He tries so many different things. He's got a great mind. His awareness is intense. And I absolutely loved his inner beauty. He was just so,
yeah.
so amazing. However,
Mm,
he just had so much bad luck. And that's when, after 7 years of marriage, he told me that he had been raped by an uncle when he was
mm,
11.
yeah.
And I spent 20 years trying to help him heal. And
Mm,
with all the modalities that I knew about, and that's why my search was long. And I fortunately had to accept the things I couldn't change, which was that he had reached the end of his life. And
yeah.
and I wish I would have known about this process that I do now, which I'm a rapid transformational therapist. I should have said that
Yeah.
before. And because that is really effective, and it would have definitely helped him. But it's like, as you know, Deva is, by the way, the way we call you, isn't that correct?
Yeah, it's my nickname.
You the nickname, so I'm sorry I told the world about that.
That's fine.
But isn't it? It's a lot easier than your long name. Forgive me,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
So, you can take a horse to water, but you can't
Mm,
make it drink. And
yeah.
even though he was trying,
Yeah.
he also had this deep, deep, pain that was lingering inside him that just wasn't leaving him. And it was like, it's
Mm,
basically the dark forces within a person, and that's where I also encountered the fact that, or realized that he had possessions, he had, and this is what happens when people drink a lot or do drugs, because they break that protective shackle, and those
yeah.
dark forces that are in between worlds jump in and create havoc.
Yeah.
And even though I got rid of him, he was still ready to move on. So, but hey, that's just what made me so determined to help others
Mm,
to be able to lead a proper life, because, and I also found that, you see, my perfect clientele is at least 35 years old, because that's at the age where they start to realize, oh, yes, I do have some patterns,
yeah.
and I just want to clear them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I must wait like 1 more year to become your ideal client then. Let's say that. Yeah. But no, that's a powerful story I feel that you just share, and it's a very deep story, like sharing, it's a very personal. So thank you for being so open, to share that part. I bet people listening, going to listen, they say, wow, this is a powerful story, and I can resonate with what you're going, like, and you spoke about those words like change. Is it what inspired you, like, to change, like whatever you went through?
Well, that's a very good question. And if you went to a pub, you can, often witness people kind of getting drunk and complaining about their lives. And it's like, it's like a competition on who's going to have the worst story, so you can feel sorry for them. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that is not how I talk about my story
Yeah.
at all, because I'm totally, yeah. And this is why of my teachings are so good, because
Mm,
you've got to grow from that. You've got to use it as a propelling thing, and that all negativities are that, really. They're just an opportunity for you to jump from. Yeah. And that's what I go into further details, obviously, in my chapter about that. And this is
yeah.
what I want to talk about: how to use that, literally use that energy, use that negativity to
Mm.
propel you and to become the creator that you want to be. Woo, and create the life of your dreams. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the energy getting excited and want to get out. So, since you already mentioned the chapter, right? So, that's why we are here today to speak about the book coming out on the 11th of November. So, tell me, if you want, give a sneak peek about your chapter, or just why people should read it.
Well, because if I was at the pub having a drink with them, whinging about my past, I think I would win the race, because it was hectic, It was hectic. So I talk about that, and then I also talk about how I use that to propel myself to where I am today, and to have this gift now to heal people, and also to see through people a lot deeper
Mm,
than most people do, because of my experience. Yes. So
yeah,
that's all, really. I just, yeah, explain how to use that to propel themselves to be the creators they want to be.
yeah, yeah.
One thing I might want to add here, the reason I say 35 is because usually people are in a couple. This is a perfect example. I use my story as an example. I
Mm,
married this guy. He was my knight in shining armor. I absolutely, wow. In fact, all women, every single woman that ever met him fell in love with him. No joke, because he had such charisma. He was just extraordinary in so many ways. So what I learned from him is, like, I married him. He told me from the beginning that he had a few issues. I thought, no big deal. I'm just going to heal that.
yeah,
However, this is where, and I didn't even know what they were exactly, what
Yeah.
the root cause of them were. And it's only 7 years into my marriage that he finally
Mm.
opened up and told me. So I'm just putting myself in other women's shoes, that, would be maybe going through this, they love their husband to death, but he's got this problem and it's creating all this havoc around it. And how could you deal with it, And yeah, that's pretty much it, really. I hope that comes
Yeah.
across. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. For me, it's like I wanted to ask you as well, like since we're talking, the book is called Inspired Creators, right? So what what is your one inspiration? Like what is the number one thing that inspires you every single day, I would say?
Um, to see my wishes come true all the time.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
think of something, it appears. I think of something, it appears, but it takes a lot of clearing the junk
Mm,
to be at this level. And
yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people would like to be able to do this. And
yeah.
I have a couple of examples, but it just happens every day now. And like, yeah, with my daughter, my son, it doesn't matter. Whoever calls each other, oh, I was just thinking of calling you. Or, I bring a gift over to my son, like he's just moved into this house. And I know that he sometimes has a cigarette or his guest might, and I was in the shop and I saw this ashtray that I really liked. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to bring it over to gift. And he goes, oh, we were just talking about how we need to get one. Do you know what I mean? This kind of thing. Continuous flow,
Yeah,
and it's like, oh my god, this is so delicious. That's what you want. Yeah, you
yeah,
really want to live a delicious life, really.
yeah. So can you tell a bit about the flow? Like you did. I like that. So
Mm.
so what is being in the flow means? Like, people listening right now or watching this video, they might think, oh, what is being in the flow means? Like, how do you get there, maybe? Or start off
Mhm.
with what is being in the flow means. Yeah.
Being in the flow is basically not being a manifester by default. You know how you think that you're constantly a victim, that things are happening to you. It's
Mm,
being in front of that energy. And you see, if I can talk about this, like it's obviously called, a lot of talks about LOA, which is law of attraction, right?
yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
often misunderstood, because if it was understood properly, we wouldn't have all these problems around the world, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So, it's basically wishing and it happens. Yeah. And the thing is, I mean, I have been working on this all my life, so you probably don't learn it overnight. However, if you work with me, it will definitely happen a lot quicker. Not because I have, speed up tools, really, I'm not joking. It works. But often, your mind, which we all know, has about 60 to 70,000 thoughts going through the same all around the day. And the next day you wake up, you think those same thoughts again, and you're in a loop, you're in a loop, in a loop, in a loop. Well, it's about getting out of that loop. And how should I explain? It's because we, as human beings, I mean, I'm giving a lot away here, but it doesn't matter. Because hey, I want you all to succeed, because that's what's going to lift the whole planet to the next level, where we are
Mm.
hopefully going to have, heaven on earth. Not hopefully, we are. So basically, at the moment, we have all been trained ever since we were born to make all our decisions more in a, I got to do this, I got to do this, like in a like forceful way, and from a mental perspective. But
Mm.
as human beings, we're really just like an iceberg. The part above the water is the head, and all the rest is under the water. So think about it, when you want to shift and move on to being, anyway, let's just go from poor to rich, you know, you try to move that head, the body is not going to follow, because there's so much more underwater. You with me? So
Wow. Yeah.
you need to clear that junk. Yeah. And it can be done a lot quicker, but it's just old school how affirmations. are good, but they're never going to work. I mean, with all due respect, I've been doing them ever since I was 16 years old. And, they really haven't achieved what I wanted. But however, learning these other processes and clearing the junk and realizing that you only need to ask once. Do you know that? You only need to ask God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, once.
Mm.
That's it. And I think
Yeah.
that's one of these mistakes that people do. They keep asking, which is,
Yeah.
it's like not trusting that it's going to come in,
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like if you ask once, it means you have the faith and the belief that it's happening. It's already happened.
That's it.
It's like you order, for example, on Amazon or those websites. You don't constantly and go back and check and check and check. You
That's,
ordered, it's coming, right? It's exactly that faith and that belief that it's coming or it's already here.
I love that analogy. I'm going to use it. That's so cool.
Well,
That's
I learned so much already from you, so I'm going to use a lot of so thank you for sharing that. And
so
that's what it is, like
yeah.
that exchange. Because with when we wrote this book, I remember because let's be clear, guys, like Angelique has written, it's her fourth book. It's her
Best,
fourth
first,
bestseller,
yeah, thank you.
fourth
Yeah,
bestseller coming
yeah.
now out. So she's an experienced writer. So how was that experience for you, writing this? Because it feels like you have more book coming out then, if it's
Yeah.
your fourth collaboration, right?
Oh, I also foresee possibly a mini series of my life, really, because it would be very, very juicy, you know. But hey, it's not really about my story so much. It's about how I handled, the big roller coasters that
Yeah.
was coming along with that. Because yeah, so that's all about that. And yeah, just they, I have to get out of the way. See, this is one thing you need to learn is to
Mm,
actually get rid of your mind, get rid of the head, and
mm,
allow this. It just flashes through you. Just yeah, you just have to learn to allow that, and it flashes through you, and it's very yeah. And sometimes it needs tweaking, but it usually comes through. The title guides you, and the next thing you know, you wait for the right time, and yeah,
mm.
and again, get into a meditation first and allow it to come through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meditation is so good, and yeah.
I know you're giving out a lot of tools, but you're not giving like the specific tool that you use because that's for the listeners to go and discover, right? And to come to you and
Yes.
to know more about you and more about your work, right?
Yeah.
If that's something you want to talk more about your work, if that's something you want to share more about
Sure.
what you do, yeah.
Yeah. So my offers are that people can just come for one. We call it RTT session, right? This is a modality I use because it's a combination of, you know, specific modalities, all based on neuroscience. Very, very powerful. And my teacher, has been doing it for 30 years before she trained me. So definitely well proven method, and it's very fast, sharp, and effective. However, a person might come to see me. A session is about 90 minutes, can be done online, by the way. Um, let's just say the first time they might come because they have anxiety that's a little bit
Mhm.
overwhelming, and creating havoc in their life, especially with what's going on around the world, very understandable. So we work
Yeah.
on that. Then
Mm.
they clear that, and about a month later, they decide, you know what, I could improve my relationship a little bit. So they'll come on that. And yes, I am an unconventional relationship, and we can talk about that after. But then the third, and then the third one could be on finance, just to improve their finance. Do you know what I mean? Or a person is really, really struggling with negativities because they've been done by, and they might want to work with me for 6 months. And on a weekly basis, I give them support, and we'll still do the RTT sessions, of
Yeah.
course. because they're
Yeah.
very powerful. But yeah, I can assure you that they will be absolutely flying after that, and going to be in that groove, where things are just flowing. Like it's amazing, just like even for me to my holiday coming to skiing to New Zealand, that was just like, wow, that's so cool, Yeah.
Yeah, because you can already see yourself and feel that, that for example, the wind when you're skiing, the smell, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
actually see yourself.
I didn't
And
even
we
have
are,
to. I didn't even have to do that to get this holiday. By the way, I didn't
yeah,
have to.
yeah,
Because I'm in such a high place. My
yeah,
vibrations are so good. I
yeah.
have. I don't even have to try hard at all. It just flows in. It's beautiful. I'm so grateful. Yeah.
It's because you allow, right? You just allow. You, like you said, ask once and allow, and that's it.
Correct. And Abraham Hicks will tell you. You know Abraham Hicks, yeah? She
Yeah,
will tell you
yeah,
you've got about 25 lifetime of all your wishes available to you right now. But
yeah,
getting them all at once would be like eating all the meals that you're ever going to have for the rest of your life in one go. That wouldn't work, wouldn't it? So they have to come in incrementally, and
yeah,
and again, so you ask and then get out of the way. Get busy, do
yeah,
something, but allow them to come in, because the only reason they're not in front of you right here, right now, is because you are not allowing them. You're resisting it with your thoughts because you
yeah,
believe, oh, that's not possible. Oh, I don't deserve this. Oh, no, and all these reasons. And that's
yeah.
why Kadu is
Do,
very powerful.
do you think people resist because of their like subconscious belief, like like belief that they acquired throughout their life? Is that a reason why they are not being able to manifest and to see their wishes come true? Do you think belief play a big role?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm,
100%.
yeah,
100%. 100%. And that is, the teachings we received as a baby,
yeah,
like, you know, the Catholic Church and the Jews both said, give me a child from 0 to 7 and I own them for life, you know.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's exactly what's happened to all of us, really.
Mm,
Mm. And, I can see this. I have a granddaughter that's 1 year old. Today, she was showing me how she was climbing of this climbing thing that my daughter bought her. And it's supposed to be for a 3-year-old. And she's nailing it. And I'm going, wow, and it's all the words that are put in her mind, and she came so early, and it's just like, she is she is a genius, like
yeah,
seriously. and,
yeah.
and it's because your mind is like such a sponge when you're little, and we've been really really indoctrined, with, and our
Mm,
parents did the best they could because they did what they wanted us to have an upgrade from their lives. And I'm
mm,
sure we have, but this is another whole new level,
yeah,
what we
yeah.
get into. Yeah.
And what is the like sorry, the one, I would say, like, because we don't have much time as well, so it's like, what is the one limiting belief that you felt that you struggle, not all your life but maybe part of your life, because I know you have done so many work on yourself, we can see that, we can feel that. So what is the one belief that you felt hold you back for a long, long time?
Oh, I know exactly which one it is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I can
And
see the smoke.
you can see smoke. Yeah. So, my family being Swiss, they
Yes.
were neutral during the war, but they still suffered a lot. And so my father used to always say that you have to always finish what's on your plate because you never know if you're going to have food on the next day. So I was always overeating because of that. But the
Oh.
main one is, yeah, yeah, that
Mm.
was really hard to break. And also the main one is that you cannot be rich, healthy, and happy. You have to choose one. So I chose to be happy. And it worked because really it just lifts all the other vibrations anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it
But
brings the abundance, right?
100%. Even though,
Yeah.
like, my late husband had this, oh, well, the medical system would probably call it a mental illness, but anyway, I disagree. Anyway, because of that, but we were very, very, very abundant in so many ways, but not necessarily through money in the bank, It just came in so many ways. It was extraordinary, really. So we always had a really, really good quality of life. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
But
Were
that's
there like one phrase that stuck with you? I know you said about I choose to be happy, for example, but were there another phrase that stuck to you that you feel that you notice in your clients now and you felt, oh yeah, I was there before. I've been there before.
I would rather talk about, sorry, but I would rather have an affirmation for that,
Oh yeah.
because sometimes, people don't really know what it is that's holding them back, and they
Mm.
want to do some work on themselves first, or they don't even know who to go to first, or they don't have the money or whatever. So I would say one affirmation that's very powerful is, I am willing to release whatever is in me that is creating this situation. So whenever a drama comes in front of you, like I've had a few, you just sort of sit still and say, hey, I realize that I create everything in my life, even though this seems to be coming left-handed, nothing to do with me. It's still in my life for a reason, for me to learn from. So, I would say I'm willing to release whatever it is in me that created this situation. So if we want to use affirmations, it's always good to do something like this to clear first. Clear, 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 clear. And once you feel like you've done your clearing, you then fill up, because you have to empty the cup first, right? Before you fill it up. And then when you fill up the cup, you can say, hey, I feel abundant, I am amazing, I am content, I am grateful, and la yada yada yada. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, no wonder we're having this conversation tonight because I was just reading a book called Spiritual Marketing by Joy Vitale. He was one of the authors in The Secret, and he spoke about the release. And there he had one affirmation, like one script about releasing, you need to release. And there you go.
There
There
we go.
you're talking about the release. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Mm.
And for those listening, like looking like Angelique said, my name is Deva as well, so which means angel in Sanskrit. So no wonder we're on the same book, right? And we are meeting, and
Yes.
we're going to create a workshop that we will give more details later, which is
Yeah.
going to happen in New Zealand, right? In August 2023. So watch out.
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
before we just coming to an end, so
I'd
any
like to,
message?
yeah, I
Yeah,
just, all
that's
just for the francophone out there, there are some people that speak French, and we just happen to speak French, the two of us. So I'm just going to say bonjour à tout le monde. On est tellement content de vous avoir ici. Et puis, j'espère que vous comprenez de quoi on a parlé aujourd'hui, parce que c'est très important. Et puis, essayez d'acheter notre livre et le lire. Et d'ailleurs, le 11 du 11, c'est quand il va sortir, vous pouvez l'acheter pour $1 ou un truc comme ça. Alors, stay posted. Voilà.
yeah.
Et toi,
I
tu
don't
dis
know
quelque chose?
how to put.
Tu dis quelque chose
Ouais,
en français?
je peux parler le français. Donc, merci à Angélique. C'était super de t'avoir sur ce chat qu'on a fait. Mais comme tu as dit à des personnes qui nous écoutent, merci d'acheter le livre et de partager. De
Voilà.
partager tous les auteurs qui sont dedans sont des personnes qui sont vraiment, vraiment géniaux.
Voilà.
Et for English speaking now, we are just going to translate. We just said like, please share the book. Please go out and share it with the maximum number of people because all people in this book want to share their love, light, and help to heal the world. And I think like we have amazing co-authors. There will be more videos coming out, and I will leave the last word for Angelique, for this beautiful angel, to finish up the video. So you go, else, if you have something.
No, how lucky are you guys? Two angels talking to you today. No, yeah, it was amazing how we connect like this, and
Yeah,
I'm very glad that you're listening to this, because obviously our stories are all about inspiring you. So
yeah,
do get the book, because it is going to uplift your life, and it
yeah.
will. Yeah, that's it.
So go on Kindle, buy the book. It's coming out on the 11th of November.
On
Uh,
Amazon.
on
On
Amazon, called Inspired Creators. It's all about creating your life, creating the best version of your life, and just submerge yourself with the knowledge and use it, put it into action. So thank you, everyone. We will end here. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Angela.
Thank you. Bye.